Hey, what's going on? Coach Luka back here with Coach's Corner. I guess we're back to program design. And I've done a number of these over the months and years with my small group personal training model. And as I said, like every time I kind of play around with new programming with our groups in real time, right? So it's not theoretical. This is stuff that, again, I'm doing here at the gym consistently. I'll share it with you. So this is a new kind of a little bit of a format for small groups specifically. I'll break it down. I really like that. There is some, I would say, nuances here because the original model that I shared, which you can find here on YouTube, right? The original system that I use the most, the reason it works well is because, again, if somebody skips a day, remember our model is 3 times a week, full body strength training. And if somebody misses a day, they're always getting that stimulus, that same similar stimulus, which is great. But I'm a big fan of concurrent training, right? And concurrent training just meaning that you're working on multiple properties/abilities throughout the week. And so that's what I played around with this small group program design. And I'm going to take you guys through it. So think of in the concurrent model, we have a dynamic effort day, which means we're working on, speed, strength, speed, elasticity, power, plyometrics. Then we have our max effort / submax effort day where we're lifting heavy, right? So we're trying to improve our strength. And then we have repetition effort day, which is essentially kind of like build muscle, kind of the bodybuilding type of stuff. So this small group model, we're splitting the 3 days into, where each day has an emphasis. You can kind of see we have dynamic effort day, we have our submax effort day, we have our repetition effort day. Now, the reason we do submax effort, because the true max effort day is you're working up to a single. And with our populations, we're usually in that 3 to 6 rep range when we're working on strength, right? So we're not going to take people up to singles. I'm going to have, Susie Sue coming in, kind of basically just starting something new. And all of a sudden we're doing safety bar squats, to box the singles, no bueno, right? So, and again, we have a regression model for all that. And then we have the repetition effort day. So I'm going to break it down. So we still keep our blocks, right? Just like we've been doing. We have block 1, block 2, block 3. Why? Because time, right? We only have so much time. And that block 1 is really going to be that main emphasis of that day, okay? We're still keeping it at around 14 minutes here, right? So, and I said there's some malleability here. Like we can take it to, from 12 to 15, no problem. But the 14 minutes is our block 1. And you will see on the dynamic effort day in block 1, and I'll explain the tempos and everything, how we're doing this. We have 3 exercises, right? We have a box squat, 2 box jumps. So imagine you're sitting down on a box, and then from that box, I'm going to stop my feet and jump up onto a box, right? Rate of force development on this one, right? Then we have low lateral hurdle hops. So think low hurdles where we're going to jump over, but like not so plyometric, right? We're not going to spend a lot of time on the ground. So this might be a, set of 4 reps. This may be a 10 per side. And then we're going to do 5 per side of rotational Dynaball wall throws, just smashing the hell out of it, right? So we kind of got rotation / upper body in there. Now, you might remember when we're doing plyo power stuff, jumps, we want quality over quantity. So whatever amount of time we have, 12 to 14 minutes here, you might get through 3 or 4 rounds of this. Okay, so it's not supposed to be a circuit where you're just running around trying to get as much in as possible, right? Somebody will do their jumps. They'll take like a minute and a half, do their lateral low hops, take minute and a half, do their rotational throws. So it's important for the coach to teach they'll say the tempo of how people are doing this, right? And again, that's on you as a coach to guide because we want every rep to be powerful. We want it to be explosive. That's what we're training. That's our main premise, right? So that's going to be our first block. Again, and I'm watching people to make sure that they're not going too fast, kind of keeping them under control so that they're not, getting 6-7 rounds of this stuff in and they're sweating and it becomes like a conditioning circuit because that's not the premise of it. Okay. Then we go to block 2. Again, this is going to be around 12 minutes. And you can, again, flip-flop them. By the way, if I realize that this is too long because people are trying to get too many sets in, I shorten it up. But we did fine with 14 minutes. Second one, our focus is rate of force development / we're going to kind of be in that strength speed. So you can see that first exercise is strength, speed, safety squat, right? And this would probably be to box. So we might do like a 4 reps on this. So they're going to sit down to a box with a pad, but then really focus on exploding up, right? We're going to use somewhere between 50 to 70% of their max load. So it's not going to be heavy, but heavy enough, right? Another alternative here would be like an Olympic lift. But because, again, larger groups, I like Olympic lifts, but very difficult to teach, especially if you have a lot of different fitness level. Everybody can do a squat variation with speed with a decent amount of load on their back, okay? From there, we might have a landmine push press or a jerk. So now imagine, again, we're working on power / explosiveness, decently heavy weight. We're going to push press it or even jerk it, right, to get that explosion and work on rate of force development for the upper body. And then we're going to work some core, and you'll see that there's always some core. We're going to work a bus driver. So we might do like 8 per side, right, resisting rotation. So that's like a landmine where we have 2 handles and the weight. We're staying upright and just going side to side, resisting rotation with our abs. And in block 3, we're going to do explosive repeats. So again, we're working on things that people usually don't work on. Explosive repeats. We're conditioning those tissues to be able to do the repeatability of explosiveness, right? So we'll do 3 exercises. Remember, these are going to be like 8 to 10 seconds long sets, or should I say reps, right? And kettlebell deadlift jumps. So a lighter deadlift, kettlebell, jumping as high as possible for about 10 seconds, maybe 12. Then a full break, 48-second break, skater jumps side to side, lateral jumps, right? Oops, my bad. That's supposed to be lateral slides, right? So lateral slides, same thing, about 10 to 12 seconds. We'd probably do 2 rounds and then build up, right? So again, being explosive, long recovery, and doing the repeatability of it, right? So that might be, again, so you can see the emphasis here is like being more explosive, rate of force development, elasticity, okay? We didn't plug in our dynamic warm-ups, which would be similar to what I always do. And that would be our dynamic effort day. And we start the week with that. For instance, if this is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, right? Coming fresh off a weekend, hopefully, right? We're doing our fast stuff. And then our Wednesday would be our submax effort day. So think kind of like, I don't want to say it necessarily, but like powerlifting. But we're not just doing powerlifting lifts, but in the emphasis of like, we want to get stronger. So block 1 on submax effort day is going to be max strength. We're just going to work on, again, in getting stronger. We're only going to do 2 exercises and maybe a filler. I'll let you guys know what I mean by that. So we're going to squat variation working up to heavy 3. So that would be an example, right? So let's take, again, for us, we actually have a phase right now where we have safety squat bars, 2 box, and they're just tapping the box. They're not sitting down on it, right? So they just have a distance, boom, they tap the box, they're coming back up. But it's a safety squat bar. And they can even half-field it and grab onto something. So they're going to use that 14-minute block to work up to their heaviest 3 of that day. That's not a 3-rep max. It's just I tell them like, hey, you should feel like maybe you got 1 more in the tank, but it should be a challenging 3. Okay? They're probably going to get about 4 sets that are hard sets in there, and then they're supersetting with a pull-up variation. Again, for 5. So for some people, that's going to be with weight. For some people, that's going to be just body weight. That's going to be hard. Some people are going to be with bands. Some people, it's going to be a pike pull-up, right? So, but it's going to be a challenging 5 pull. And then to break things up here, I'll usually do a mobility filler. All right, so mobility filler might be some like a couch stretch, a upper back thoracic rotation, right? It just kind of gives them a break and slows them down. Because again, in those 14 minutes, they're going to get about 5 to 6 sets. But here's the thing. The first 2 to 3 are ramp ups. They're lighter, right? They're ramping up, and their last 3 sets are going to be pretty damn difficult. And then every week, we're trying to go a little bit heavier and improve our numbers, right? So that's going to be our block 1 on the submax effort day. What we're going to do on a supplemental, block 2 is just get the other movement patterns in and supplement, but still staying in those pretty, I would say, strength ranges. So we might do a barbell RDL for 6, right? So that's still kind of like that mix where it is myofibrillar hypertrophy, right? So we're going to get stronger. We're going to build some muscle. Dumbbell bench press, in that 6 to 8 rep range, and then maybe a TRX flow out, which is core, for 10. Right? So again, that's going to be a 12-minute block. They're probably going to get about 4 sets, quality sets, in of this one. Again, it's going to be different depending on their fitness level. And then kind of assistance exercises at the end. We got dumbbell shoulder raises. That might be 12. Hamstring rollers, so some type of hamstring curl. And we might do a pistol squat for a single leg, 8 per side on that. Right? So you kind of throw in a little bit of like weakening assistance stuff that's going to help out. So that's our submax effort there. Remember, our block 3s are usually somewhere around 6 to 8 minutes long. They could be as long as 10, depending, right? This will probably be an 8-minute kind of block. And remember, it's timed. It ends up being like a density block, but I control how they move. Like on speed day, they're not rushing through anything, right? Here, they're taking their time. Here, they're pushing it a little bit more. And here, they are pushing like to get as much volume as possible. And then repetition effort day is a true kind of density. Let's get as much volume in as we can. And take here, we got a double kettlebell squat. So we'd probably work this in like that 8 to 10 rep range, chest supported row 8, and then reverse crunch. Again, we got core. You can kind of see we're plugging that in for 12, right? So this would be, our main block would be about 14 minutes long, where these would probably be 12 and 12, right? We equal them out. So double kettlebell squat, you'd take a 12 rep max and do it for 8, right? Because again, that's going to add up. Same thing with chest supported row. As you're going through this, the volume adds up. Every week, we're just trying to get more volume in that time frame. Same thing, part 2, we got single leg RDLs, 8 per side. Yoga push-ups, we might go max. Right, again, this could also be a high incline or incline dumbbell bench press, but I like push-ups because I like to have a reach in there. Ab rollouts will go for 10. Right, again, 12 minutes pushing. This feels, again, you get a crazy pump, a good chunk of volume. People love this. Like, at the end of the week, it's not as stressful on the nervous system as these two, right? So that's why we kind of go think about stimulate and develop. And then, right, like we're kind of surfing the curve a little bit. And we finish off with pump work, right? So we'll do like a Zopman curl for 8, tricep extensions for 12, and then posterior flies for 12, right? So we hit that upper back as well. Again, so, and this is a pump work for the upper body. We'll rotate them. So the next program might have some pump work for the lower body, right? So we might have single leg hip thrusts, lateral band walks. If it's our strong herv, we might have, again, a booty pump at the end. But because you can see, like, this is a framework. I'm giving you examples of exercises to plug in. But if people can come 3 days a week, I really like this. And again, we've tested it. I really enjoy it. People enjoy it. So it's just a different approach, but it kind of still, falls in line with my belief system of, regardless of what age you are, we want to continue to work on power, elasticity. It's things that people lose, right? We want to work on speed. That's going to look different for different people. Everything here has a regression, right? Everything here, if somebody very beginner person comes in, we've got something that they can do in spite of this right now. And it is cool. I will say this, right? I believe that some of the equipment that I've bought in the last coming years, it really allows me to, for example, have somebody lift pretty heavy. That's safe. So pendulum squats, or belt squats, or Smith machines that we have, right? So there's a lot of options to do it. On top of for a lot of folks, you could do a heavy 5, with a goblet squat, and it's going to be challenging. So my point being is you always have to have regressions, progressions, lateralizations, just like I always talk about. But try this out. And again, in the coming months, I'm coming out with small group personal training mastery 2.0. It's my second course, and we'll have another year of programming, and some of this will be built in. So some of my new kind of program design models will be built into the year-long programming. I'm going to teach it even more in depth, give more examples, again, take you guys through this. But I wanted to show what you can, because the question I get quite often is, the original program design system for small group is insanely malleable, right? And we've been doing it for years and years and years and years, and it works all the time. Nobody ever complained. But I've also shared some alternate program design models last time. This is another new one that I wanted to share. And depending, again, whether you want to switch it up for a quarter. So this would be a great way to do a quarter doing this type of programming. Next quarter, you come back to the base model, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can do it, but it kind of does create a little bit of novelty and change, which clients like, which I'm sure that you'll like. But plug this in. Let me know how it goes. Because again, this is, I would say, real world applied stuff, right? I don't go write this stuff up and never use it. I actually test it out with our groups, which we have a lot of people coaching in our small groups. And then when I see how it works, make the changes, then I shoot, a content video, give it to you guys so that you can use it. So if you'd like more stuff like this, make sure to follow this channel. Again, for program design. Also, if you're looking to feel, perform, and look like an athlete without nagging aches and pains, again, follow this channel. I'll see you next time in Coach's Corner. Peace out.